Alright, so let's see here. Last time I did things in the rating range of 2000 to 2400. I think 2400 is still a pretty good goal for going through these puzzles so that the puzzles can be done in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm going to bump it up a little so that on average the puzzles are a little harder. Still, we're going to do all themes. And immediately we get a puzzle where our queen is in danger. So clearly an annoying knight. But also this bishop is hanging. So it makes me wonder why we can't take and then take the bishop for free. So like if we take this knight, what is black doing in return to save this bishop? Because there's no material imbalance already, so that would just be a free piece. So take, is there any in-between move? I don't really see this as an in-between move. We can take that. If takes, and then we take here. We do have to be a little careful about potential for this pin of the queen to the king. So if takes, instead of taking the bishop, perhaps we could take this bishop first. And then if recaptures, then we get this bishop for free. Because otherwise, if takes, well, even if bishop takes, okay, I could take with the pawn so that the knight can come back, and then maybe the knight gets pinned. So that seems like that might be the better way to do things. If takes here, I can take in between. Oh, maybe not, because then takes like this, and it's the same problem. So if takes here, I can just do what? Probably I can just bring my bishop back somewhere, and then I would be threatening two things, which should be good enough. So take in between seems like the answer. Okay. Yeah, important to see black's follow-up resources of the rook being very annoying. So moving on to the next one. So here we can see that we have a lot of pieces floating around the king. Our king seems pretty safe for the moment, although we are very underdeveloped. Material looks somewhat even. Well, actually no, white's ahead a couple pawns. So if I were to just drag his king over to d1, do I have any follow-up? Well, this is a pretty clear follow-up to give check. And then white will have to block the check somehow. Oh, wait. What if check, take in between check, so that the knight and bishop don't both guard the square? Check, takes, and then follow up. It looks like white's getting mated. That's pretty convincing. Okay, not really sure why that one was on the higher end of the rating, because the calculation is pretty straightforward. This is a very obvious first move to consider, and then all you have to see is that after bishop check, it seems like white can just block with these two pieces, but we can just remove one of them with check, and then it's just, devastating. King is netted. Moving on. Okay, first thing to consider is, well, both sides are pretty close to queening. This bishop is doing a good job at guarding the things along here. So if we just take the bishop, white makes a queen. We could give check. King will move somewhere. We don't have to take the rook, because then white's queen will probably pick up these pawns. But we could also queen, like here, queen, oops, here, queen, check, queen. Material is even, and we're up 3 pawns. That's a pretty strong solution. Let's see if I have better. I don't know if I'm likely to have better, because we're starting down a bishop. So going from that standpoint, yeah, so just like picking up the rook isn't good enough. I don't know where the king might go. Maybe here, because they queen. This isn't good enough because we can't force through our pawn. It really leaves us with only one option, and we can't just push the pawn. It's too slow. We're gonna have some sort of ultimatum. So takes, queen, check, and then don't take the rook, just queen. Oops. I always drag my mouse over into the sidebar. Again, this one's pretty straightforward because, once you get to this position, all you have to do is ask yourself, do I want it to be a rook versus queen, or queen and rook versus queen and rook with 3 extra pawns? Alright, it's 3 in a row. Going for puzzle number 4. So our queen's attacked. So is white's queen, actually. Both queens are in danger. So it makes you wonder if this is one of those puzzles where you just like take a rook and then get the queen back right away. Which is not such a bad idea, because otherwise, no matter where we move our queen, it looks like white will be able to trade queens and not be down material. Taking this bishop doesn't do anything because we're not threatening mate after the queen recaptures. I think it's just, queen takes rook. What does white even do? Because we're threatening this other rook, which is also threatening mate, so there's no time for like some sort of sneaky other move. And even after here and here, we can just take with the rook. This isn't hanging anymore. Okay. Yeah, that one also straightforward. All you're doing is seeing that you don't really have a real mate because of the multiple pieces guarding this square. You're already attacking a queen, so you can just pick up a rook. Here, well, okay, it looks like he just took our knight. We have this move, potentially. Of course, we could take the bishop back, potentially. Do we really have options other than that? I mean, okay, that's not really an option. white just goes here. And even when you take, you're not going to get this pawn because it's defended. So currently we're just down the one piece. So if we take here, king moves. Instead of just taking the rook, because it looks like our knight's just going to get trapped in the corner anyways, and white will take here, we could check and then take, because this is an in-between move with an attack on the queen, and then pick up the rook. So then we actually win the exchange. So, okay. I think that's my daily limit, the 5. So that was my thought process going through puzzles, the order in which I calculated things. As always, usually the first things I calculated were the most forcing moves, checks and whatnot. Those aren't always the right moves, but they're a good place to start, and also to see different ideas. Even here, I calculated something that really was never going to be the answer. Instinctively, I knew that d6 had no place, but because it attacked the queen, I gave it the benefit of the doubt and looked at it for a few seconds before discarding it. Often that kind of thing can be important to finding moves that are surprising. And it's the kind of thing that if I calculated all the reasonable moves and couldn't find anything, then I might come back and consider d6 again and wonder if I missed something. So just to have it on your radar is often enough. So yeah, looks like we got some higher rated puzzles this time. I might start upping that rating range so that we can get more of the difficult puzzles again, because I think those are a bit more complicated and a bit more instructive rather than these, checkmate and fours that are all forced. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.